This is a UFO sighting which was sighted a number of times in the same evening. Um, it was in Corsica where the first sighting spotted. It's a typical sighting, nothing really glamorous, nobody got out or anything or got abducted or anything. But mention it because a lot of people saw it in different places, so they all described the same thing. Can't remember everything about it, unfortunately. But anyway, here goes. It was middle 1970s. This happened. Nobody described the size or anything. It just said it was a bright light. It described it was being dome shaped or anything. Well, I can remember of it. But people make things up over the years, so I'd be a bit doubtful if they've changed it from the original, because the original was definitely just a bright light. Anyway, there's a teacher and his wife, his son and his daughter-in-law was on a balcony on the south of Corsica. I've never been. It's supposed to be beautiful. Anyway, they were looking at this light come over, and there was interest in it because they were used to planes flying around, but there was this lower, much lower, and it seems to be darting in an unusual manner. Then it went to Isle of Elba. That must be, I presume, bottom of Corsica, I guess, something around there. I don't know the place. And they followed it with eyes and looking at it, and they think, oh, look at that. And it shot off much quicker than an airplane, but quite low. And then as it got to Isle of Elba, it sort of moved around a bit, but went shot upwards, just straight up. And then it came back down again, but slowly. And then it did this sort of erratic movement for a bit of time. Then it came back over to them. So they had a good look, quite some minutes at this unusual craft. But again, it was so bright they didn't actually see the shape. I think that was the problem. And it went over them. Then I think it was called Bastion. Anyway, it went over them to the other part of Corsica. And there it was witnessed again. So it good places. Then it went from there to somewhere else. And as far as I know, it went to the mainland France. This all in one, an hour or so. It travelled at a certain height, so a lot of people could see it. So it wasn't just one or two people. Dozens and dozens of people seen it and reported it. So that's why I mention it, because it might not be a close inspection of anything and nothing exciting, but again, it shows there's something there. Something's moving about. Doesn't sound like military. After all, why would they do that? And it was incredibly bright. What this said, it says it changed from like the description from a 40-watt bulb, nice and dim, to looking in the sun, where you couldn't bear to look at it, so bright. And that's how they described it. And that's a bit what's stuck in my brain. Not much up there, but I do remember that bit. And I thought, blimey, yeah. So I presume that must be the power, I'm guessing, as it kicks in, moving about. But then they say the same witnesses described the same thing, but this family had the better looks. They was on end at the balcony, so they saw it coming over and going over the mountain hillside to the other side, and the other guys they saw it, I think, for 20 or 30 seconds all round the other end and going over. So yeah, but it's the amount of people saw it. That's what, you're talking 20, 30 people. It's a lot of people to make up the same story, and that's why I 100% think it's true. If you get a chance, have a look. It's UFO in Corsica, 1974, I think, 73, but about that middle 70s anyway. Yeah, but, interesting. I'd love to go to Corsica, especially beautiful. Never been. Anyway, I hope you like that one. It's only a small story, not too exciting, but I just wanted to mention it because just to add to the consistency that we're getting visited, basically. Thanks so much.